The kingdom of Zolani was alive with celebration. The heir to the throne, Prince Ayanda, was finally ready to choose a bride. The news had spread far and wide, drawing noble families, merchants, and villagers to the palace to witness the grand occasion. Among the contenders for his heart were two women, Zanele, the elegant and ambitious daughter of a wealthy merchant, and Mbali, a humble yet stunning woman whose beauty and grace had captured the hearts of the people. Zanele had spent years preparing for this moment. She had perfected the art of charm, politics, and decorum, ensuring she would be the ideal queen. Yet, despite her efforts, the prince's gaze lingered on Mbali, whose simplicity and warmth seemed to shine brighter than Zanele's polished demeanor. At a grand gathering in the palace courtyard, Prince Ayanda rose from his seat, silencing the crowd. "I have made my choice," he declared. "Mbali shall be my queen." The announcement was met with thunderous applause. But amidst the joy, Zanele stood frozen. Her heart pounded in disbelief, and her nails dug into her palms. That night, while the kingdom celebrated, Zanele's jealousy festered and turned into something far darker. Unable to sleep, Zanele paced her chambers, consumed by rage and despair. "I have given my life to this dream," she muttered to herself. "I will not lose to a commoner." Determined, she rode into the dark forest under the cover of night, seeking the help of Memlambo, an infamous herbalist known for her connection to the spirits. Memlambo's hut was as eerie as the tales described, filled with dried herbs, glowing bottles, and the scent of mystery. The herbalist peered at Zanele with knowing eyes. "Why do you seek me, child?" she croaked. "To eliminate my rival," Zanele said, her voice trembling but resolute. The old woman smiled faintly, a mix of pity and amusement. "Beware," she said. "To take a life is to invite the spirit's wrath." Despite the warning, Zanele insisted. Memlambo handed her a small vial of golden liquid. "A single drop in her wine," the herbalist explained, "and she will fall asleep, never to wake." The next evening, the palace was adorned with colorful decorations for Mbali's pre-wedding feast. Zanele arrived in radiant attire, charming everyone with her grace. No one suspected the storm brewing behind her composed smile. When the time came for a toast, Zanele approached Mbali with a goblet of wine. "To my sister," she said warmly, "and to your happiness." Mbali, touched by the gesture, smiled and took a sip. Zanele turned away, her heart pounding with a mix of guilt and anticipation. Moments later, Mbali gasped, clutching her throat. Her face contorted in pain as she collapsed to the ground, sending the feast into chaos. "She is cursed," someone cried, and whispers of dark magic spread like wildfire. Zanele remained silent, hiding her trembling hands in her lap as the prince and the elders rushed to Mbali's side. That night, as Mbali's lifeless body was prepared for burial, the elders exchanged troubled looks. They spoke in hushed tones about Mbali's lineage. She was no ordinary woman. Her mother had been a river spirit, and harming her was an unforgivable act that could provoke the gods themselves. Later that night, Zanele awoke in her chambers to an icy chill. Before her stood the glowing figure of Mbali, her eyes piercing and unearthly. "You have taken my life," the spirit whispered, her voice echoing unnaturally. "But I will take your future." Zanele fell to her knees, pleading for forgiveness, but the spirit vanished, leaving Zanele trembling and haunted. The next morning, the palace was draped in mourning. But as the funeral preparations commenced, a strange event unfolded. Mbali's spirit appeared before Prince Ayanda, her voice carrying the truth of Zanele's betrayal. Overcome with grief and rage, the prince summoned Zanele to the grand hall. "You dared to poison the woman I loved?" Ayanda bellowed, his voice trembling with fury. "Your greed and envy have tainted this kingdom." Zanele fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "Forgive me," she cried. But Ayanda's heart had turned to stone. "You will face exile," he declared, "and bear the curse you have brought upon yourself." Banished from the kingdom, Zanele wandered the wilderness, her beauty fading and her wealth dwindling. Her mind was consumed by the weight of her actions, and she became a shadow of her former self. One day, she stumbled upon the river where Mbali's spirit was said to dwell. Falling to her knees, Zanele wept. "Spirits of the river," she cried, "take my life and end my suffering." But the waters remained silent, reflecting only the shadow of the woman she once was. Back in the kingdom, life began to heal. The rivers flowed freely, the crops flourished, and the people sang songs in Mbali's honor. Though Prince Ayanda never married, he ruled wisely, his heart carrying the lessons of love and loss. Zanele's name became a cautionary tale, whispered from mothers to daughters: "Do not let jealousy lead your heart astray, or you will share the fate of the jealous bride."